And is it coming? Sorry, sir. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Chandra Reddy, first year PG Community Health, Community Medicine. Today we are going to discuss about the concept of health and disease. So there is a change of concepts of the health. There are four types of the concepts: biomedical concept, ecological concept, psychosocial concept, and holistic concept. In biomedical concept, health considered as a absence of disease, basis in the germ theory of disease. So it was criticized due to it minimized the role of the environmental, social, psychological, and cultural determinants. So treating disease was found inadequate to solve problems such as malnutrition, accidents, drug abuse, mental illness, environmental pollution, population explosion. The medical profession viewed the human body as a machine, disease as a consequence of breakdown of the machine, and one of the doctor's tasks as repair of the machine. In ecological concept, health viewed as a dynamic equilibrium between man and his environment, and disease as maladjustment to its environment. So, it defines health as relative absence of pain and discomfort and a continuous adaptation to environment to ensure optimal function. Raise two issues: imperfect man, imperfect environment. Psychosocial concept. It says health is influenced by social, psychological, cultural, economical, and political factors. In holistic concept, it is a synthesis of all above concepts, unified or multi-dimensional process involving the well-being of the whole person in the context of his environment. Similar to ancient concept, a sound mind in sound body, in sound family, in a sound environment implies all sectors of society have an effect on health. For example, agriculture, animal husbandry, food, industry, education, housing, public works, communication, and other sectors which influence the health. Emphasis on the promotion and protection of the health. So, WHO defined health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being, and not merely an absence of disease or infirmity. It is recent years amplified to include the ability to lead socially and economically productive life. So it is also criticized as it is too broad, cannot define as a state, seen as a process of continuous adjustment to the changing demands of living and changing meanings we give to life. It is a dynamic concept. It helps people live well, work well, and enjoy themselves. As if we follow WHO definitions, if we so we all become sick, as it is very it is a state of health. So should be complete physical, mental, social well-being is not possible for everyone and all the time. So it is a continuous changing process. So operational definition of the health. WHO definition is not an operational, so it does not lend itself to direct measurement. Studies of epidemiology of health have been hampered because of our inability to measure health and well-being directly. So if you want to study how is the health of this community or health of one village or health of one this health faculty, so it is unable to measure. So if we have some measurements, then we will get idea about how is the condition of the health condition of the community or faculty. So, in broad sense, health can be seen as a condition or quality of human organism expressed in the adequate functioning of the organism in given condition, genetic or environmental. In narrow sense, there is no obvious evidence of disease and that a person is functioning normally. Several organs of the body are functioning adequately in themselves and relation to one another, which implies a kind of equilibrium of homeostasis. So, new philosophy of health are health is a fundamental human right, which essence of productive of life. It is a intersectoral, it is an integral part of the development. It is central to quality of life. It involves individuals, state and international responsibility. It is maintenance is major social investment. Health is worldwide social goal. Dimensions of the health. Health is multi-dimensional. World Health Organization explained health in three-dimensional: prospective, physical, mental, social, and spiritual. Besides these, many more may be cited: emotional, occasional, political, philosophical, cultural, socio-economic, environmental, educational, nutritional, curative, and preventive. In physical dimension, views health from physiological perspective. It conceptualizes health that as biological a state in which each and every organ, even a cell, is functioning at their optimum capacity and in perfect harmony with the rest of the body. So they didn't define what is the optimum actually in this physical dimension. Physical health can be assessed at community level by measurement of morbidity and mortality rates. So in physical dimension, what we see is mainly clean skin, bright eyes, lustrous hair, with body with well clothed, with firm flesh, not too fat, a sweet breath, good appetite, sound sleep, regular activity of bowels and bladder, smooth, easy, coordinated bodily movements. All the organs of the body are of unexceptionally size and function normally. All the special senses are intact. The resting pulse rate, blood pressure, and exercise tolerance are all within the range of normality for the individual age and sex. In the young and growing individuals, there is a steady gain in weight, and in the future, this weight remains more or less constant at a point above 5 lbs or 2.3 kgs, more or less than the individual's weight at the age of 25 years. So, for evaluation of physical health, self-assessment of overall health, inquiry into symptoms of ill health and risk factors, inquiry into medications, inquiry into levels of activity, number of days of restricted activity within a specific time, degree of fitness, inquiry into use of medical services. So we will measure the use of medical services by number of visits to the physician, number of hospitalizations in the recent past. So standardized question is for cardiovascular diseases, history of hypertension, history of any shortness of breath. So by inquiring health related questions, so we'll get idea about their physical health. Standardized questionnaire for respiratory diseases, asking about their shortness of breath, cough, and other related symptoms. Clinical examination. By doing examination, we will find some abnormalities. Nutrition and dietary assessment for assessment of the vitamin deficiency by looking into eyes, for example. Other organs, for example, examination of the thyroid for the iodine deficiency. So biochemical and laboratory investigations. By doing this, we will get to know what are their sugar levels and lipid levels. By these measurements, we will get idea about the physical condition of that patient, a person. Mental dimension, ability to think clearly and coherently. This deals with sound socialization in communities. Mental health is a state of balance between the individual and the surrounding world, a state of harmony between oneself and others, coexistence between the relatives of the self and that of other people and that of the environment. Mental health is not merely an absence of mental illness. So it is also mental illness not only deals with the psychological related issues and also it is associated with hypertension, peptic ulcer, bronchial asthma and other medical disorders. So features of mentally healthy person. So a person should be free from internal conflicts, well adjusted in the external environment, searches for one's identity, strong sense of self-esteem, knows himself, his mind, problems and goal, have good self-control, balances, faces problems and tries to solve them intellectually. So, social dimension, which is refers the ability to make and maintain relationships with other people or communities. It states that harmony and integration within and between each individual and other members of the society. Social dimension of health includes the level of social skills, one process, social functioning, and ability to see oneself as a member of a large society. Spiritual dimension. Spiritual health is connected with the religious beliefs and practices. It also deals with personal creeds, principles of behavior, and ways of achieving peace of mind and being at peace with oneself. It is intangible, something that transcends physiology and psychology. It includes integrity, principles, and ethics, the purpose of life, commitment to some higher being, belief in the concepts that are not subject to state of the art. Explanation. Concept of well-being. So well-being of an individual or group of individuals have several components and has been expressed in various ways, such as standard of living or level of living and quality of life. So well-being of an individual or group of individuals have objectives, standard of living or level of living, and subjective, quality of life. Thus, a distinction is drawn between concept of level of living consisting of objective criteria and the quality of life comprising the individual's own subjective evaluation of these. So, two aspects of the health, subjective. It is formed by sensation and feelings of person suffering from disease, objective. Its basis is formed by objective parameters obtained by measurement of structures and functions of a person during disease. The quality of life can be evaluated by assessing the person's subjective feeling of happiness or unhappiness about the various life concerns. So, standard of living. So, we can measure the standard of living by income and occupation, standard of housing, sanitation and nutrition, the level of provision of health, educational, recreational, and other services all be used individually as a measure of socio-economic status and collectively as an index of the standard of living. So, level of living. So these standard of living and level of living are objectives. So we can measure. It consists of 9 components: health, food consumption, education, occupation, and working conditions, housing, social security, clothing, recreation, and leisure, human rights. These objective characteristics are believed to influence human well-being. It is considered that health is the most important component of the level of living because its impairment always means impairment of the level of living. So, quality of life, the condition of life resulting from the combination of the effects of complete range of factors, such as those determining the health, happiness, including comfort in the physical environment and satisfying occupation, education, social and intellectual attainments, freedom of action, justice, and freedom of expression. So, a composite measure of physical, mental, and social well-being as perceived by each individual or by group of individuals. That is to say, happiness, satisfaction, and gratification, as it is expressed in such life concerns as health, marriage, family work, financial situation, educational opportunities, self-esteem, creativity, belongingness, and trust in others. So, these subjective and objective standard of living and quality of life we measure by two types. One is physical quality of life index and another one is human development index. So in physical quality of life index we take 3 indicators. One is infant mortality, two is life expectancy at age 1, and literacy. So in this way if we observe there is no per capita GNP into consideration. So as by looking it into we came to know that money is not everything. So if we see examples, oil rich countries of Middle East with higher per capita income have in fact not very high PQLS as their infant mortality and life expectancy at age 1 and literacy may not be that good as their income. And at other extremes, Sri Lanka and Kerala in state in India have low per capita income with high PQLIs. How it is possible? As their infant mortality is low, and life expectancy at age 1 is more, and literacy also very high in Sri Lanka and Kerala. That's why their physical quality of life index is more in this state, I mean Kerala and Sri Lanka. So in them, their income is less, but their PQLIs are more. In Human Development Index, it is a composite index of the three basic dimensions of human development. So one is to lead a long and healthy life measured by life expectancy at birth. In physical quality of life, we take life expectancy at age 1, but in Human Development Index, we take life expectancy at birth. The ability to acquire knowledge measured by mean years of schooling and expected years of schooling. So third one is the ability to lead a decent standard of living measured by gross national capita per income in purchasing power parities in US dollars we take. So in this we are taking the income. So income is also take it as a component in the human development index, but not in the PQLI. So if we finally conclude, so there is a health sickness spectrum. So from positive health, better health, freedom from sickness, unrecognized sickness, mild sickness, severe sickness, and death. So health and disease lie along a continuum, and there is no single cutoff point. The lower point on the health disease spectrum is death, and the higher point corresponds to the WHO definition of positive health. So, thus obvious that the health fluctuates within a range of optimum well-being to various levels of dysfunction, including a state of total dysfunction. So, we consider it as a death. The transition, the spectral concept of health emphasizes that the health of an individual is not static. It is a dynamic phenomenon and a process of continuous change subject to frequent supply variation. What is considered maximum health today may be minimum tomorrow. That is, a person may function at maximum levels of health today and diminished level of health tomorrow. It implies that health is a state not to be attained once and for all, but ever to be renewed. There are degrees or levels of health, as there are degrees of severity of illness. As long as we are alive, there is some degree of health in us. Thank you.